All right, welcome back, guys and girls, to another episode with myself, Luke. So I hope you're having a fantastic day and that you've had a fantastic week as well. We are at the end of another week, and Bitcoin, yet again, reverses on us. Yesterday, we were worried about a potential head and shoulders pattern that could have been forming. Doesn't look like it now, which is great for me because I'm in a long position since the $58,000 range, just around about here where it consolidated. When we did drop below that $55,000 level, I was a bit worried about that trade, but obviously you can see right now that we're still up with that trade that I put in a few weeks ago. So what is Bitcoin doing right now? We're going to jump into that in just a second. We're going to look at where Bitcoin could be heading to for the rest of this summer and also towards the end of this year. So we have a price point that we can look at. If we check out last year's consolidation, compare it to this year, the longer the consolidation, then we're going to have a huge pump towards the upside. So it's like a coiling up, ready to pop. So any second now, we are expecting Bitcoin to pop to the upside relatively soon. So if you're new to the channel, please go ahead, subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave any comments in the section below to help me grow on YouTube. That's very much appreciated. So just before we jump into the Bitcoin price, it is day 2 of the spot Ethereum ETF, and the volume surpasses experts' expectations. So yeah, I mean, this is great news for not just Ethereum, but for the whole crypto space anyway. So we obviously have the Bitcoin spot ETF. Now, a few months later, we have the Ethereum ETF. So ultimately, despite the downside we've had over the past few days, we saw like what, 10 to 15%, or maybe 8 to 10% correction. But ultimately, like, experts consider that Ethereum's ETF launch was very solid despite registering a 5%. I think it was more than 5% drop overall. Obviously, that's for the second day. And compared to a standard ETF launch, the second crypto-based investment products have exceeded expectations, ranking among the top 10% ETF launches in the last year. So this is just the beginning for Ethereum. Going into the bull run, this is massive for Ethereum and massive for the rest of the space. So could this be another catalyst for us to go a lot higher with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, and for the rest of the altcoins? Generally, for myself, Ethereum now has its own reputation. I don't really refer to it as an altcoin, even though it is technically an altcoin. But I think now, after so many years, it's earned the right to be like decoupled away from the rest of the altcoin space. So very briefly, let's just jump into the Bitcoin price and where we could be heading. The danger that could happen, but I'm going to try and give both sides. Even though I'm in a long position, I tried to be as objective as possible. So again, trading, investing is very, very different. If you're just here to invest and you dollar cost averaging, fair enough. I do this at 80% of my time. I dollar cost average into altcoins like I have done today. I just jumped into 2 AI cryptocurrencies. The prices are very low at this moment, and I think the narrative of the market is definitely going to be AI and gaming, in my opinion. So in yesterday's video, we did look at the 4-hourly time frame, and it didn't look particularly that great yesterday, but you just see how things move so fast. So the problem was, yesterday, if you watched the show, we had this potential head, and I did mention this the right shoulder could be forming. So are we out of the woods yet? Now, normally the right shoulder should really be parallel. The left and the right should be parallel together. But I mean, even if it just goes above the shoulder line, it's not that important. But generally speaking, usually they're quite parallel. So we're not out of the woods yet, because if we have a dump over the weekend or whatever, and we do come back down here, you can clearly see we're going to form that right shoulder. The right shoulder is a little bit higher, so I'm not sure if it would be valid for this. But I'm just putting it out there. It still, to me, looks like if we don't pump a lot higher, a lot of volume comes in, and we do roll over the weekend. Normally the weekend is quite boring. We hopefully maybe just consolidate, go sideways. If anything, we have a pump, but then we'll form a CME gap, which wouldn't be good. So yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. What we need to see for the rest of Friday, hopefully, is we have a pump above the $68,500 level. So that would be from this point here. The $68,500 level would be about a 2% pump. It's doable today. So if we do get that pump of 2 to 3%, we close the day above it, then yeah, I will be very happy with that, especially with my swing long position, because then over the weekend, if we just consolidate and then into next week, we're just basically creating another step higher towards the upside. So the problem is, if we do form that right shoulder today or over the weekend, then it's not looking good. The price target, you can check out the price target of that head and shoulders pattern on yesterday's video. You can go and check out the price target of that. So it would be fantastic if we do close above that $68,500 level, and then we create that next step up. So we have that step here, step, and then the next one, and then of course we have our all-time high sitting around that 73.5, 74,000 US dollar, and that would be amazing. Most likely the next, if we do close above that, then the next target would be our all-time high. So time will tell, of course. Maybe next week, we will see. But in my opinion, I'm sticking to it. 85, 90,000 US dollars, I think, could happen any second towards the end of summer. And that sets up really, really nicely, ready for the end of the year. The reason why I say that is because if we go back to the higher time frames, if we go to the weekly, and then I just zoom out. See, let's just go out like this. There we go. So if you remember last year, we had a huge consolidation period, which was quite boring because I remember it, around the March time all the way to October 16th. And that was, how many days was that, or months? Let's have a look. Do that again. There we go. So it was 217 days of pure sideways action. And then obviously we had that pump to the upside, where we saw an increase of around 150 to 170%. It depends where you measure it from. If you measure it from down here at 26,900, it should give you a measurement of about 170 to 180%. So of course we coiled up for that amount of time. The longer we coil up, the bigger the explosion to the upside. So it's pretty much similar what's been happening this year. We've been now consolidating in this range of 73,000 to 55k for the past 150 days almost. So could we be expecting another 150% or 170% for that matter towards the end of this year? If that's the case, if we do explode to the upside, let's imagine at the end of September and we go up 150%, that would take us all the way to 170,000 US dollars. So my prediction is 150,000. I definitely think we're going to see a six-figure dollar Bitcoin come the end of this year. For me, as soon as we hit that six-figure, 120 to 150,000, that's when I will be DCAing out of my different positions, taking profits off the table. Not everything off the table, because that was the mistake I made last year, last cycle 4 years ago. I took 100%, and one of those altcoins continued to pump. So that was my mistake, but if anybody can learn from that, that would be fantastic. So of course, what I say is not financial advice. You've got to do your own research, have your own plan, like I keep saying over and over again. So for me, that six-figure dollar Bitcoin, for sure at the end of this year. And then as soon as we get past that 120, 150 mark, then it's anybody's guess. Some are saying 300, 500,000. Personally, I'm going to be conservative, quite objective, but I'll just be happy to see, for the first time ever, Bitcoin at that six-figure mark. I think it will be a historical moment. And then as soon as we get past that, then yeah, it's anybody's guess. It'll be very quick. It'll be like a rocket ship. It'll be really quick how things happen in crypto, especially when we fly past that six-figure. it's anybody's guess where we could go from then on. So anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks for sticking to the end. Again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up, thumbs down, comment in the comment section below which altcoins you're looking at, where you think Bitcoin is going to go this summer and towards the end of the year, and any other suggestions or opinions is very much appreciated. So enjoy your weekend, guys and girls, and I will see you next week with more videos. Bye bye.